And here we go. So here we are in setup. Looks like the vampires are on defense. We can see how these teams have been built. We've got a block, tackle, mighty blow vampire. So I know you can stack up to 3 skills on any one player in this rule set. And the lower tier teams had a bit more TV to work with than the higher tier teams. And more doubles / stats. So here we are, quick snap. Wood Elves get to move their players 1 square. I'm just going to switch so that we're behind the offense here. So let's see what they've chosen. So there's a Strip Ball War Dancer as well as a Frenzy War Dancer. We see an interesting Jump Up tree. Jump Up gonna be useful in getting rid of that 4+ stand-up roll that trees normally have to make. Then you have some Blodge Vampires, a Leader Sure Hands one, because Strip Ball is a thing. Though, I'm sure the Strip Ball might have been, the Sure Hands might have been better on a Blodge Vampire, but, opting that. He's opted for a Dirty Player as well as a Guard, and he's got a deep bench here. So we're going to see a couple Thralls get hit on the line. No damage taken yet. Just the Blitz remaining for the Wood Elves. Now this build of Wood Elves, a lot of dodge. 4 catchers. Yeah, the full complement of 4 catchers. And dodge on pretty much all of the linemen as well. Just this one thrower that doesn't have dodge on the team. So definitely banking on opponents not having much tackle. So Random Boy is actually in quite a good spot because he has picked up 2 tackle for this team. And we're going to see a gigantic cage here. Very spread. Just trying to keep multiple lines of defense in between himself and the vampires. Finds a cheeky POW onto a vampire. No break of armor, though. Now we're going to see how well Random Boy does at controlling his vampires. Pick up and gaze. He will be able to get a 3 dice onto one of these catchers with Tackle Mighty Blow if he wants. Or he could try and gaze his way through. We'll see. Now it looks like he's just going to settle for a 3 dice. Only finding pushes. Not the dice you want with your Mighty Blow killer. But I don't know if wasting, like, greeting block rerolls is something you can really do as a vampire team, considering you do have to roll lots of bloodlusts. We'll try to dodge his players off this tree. Just trips over, but no damage done, so no free hits here for the Wood Elves because it's going to be really hard to get these Strength 2 players to hit things. Willingly basing the tree up against a vampire. Vampires are potentially capable. Yeah, he was definitely thinking about the green roll, that's for sure. Good day, Nick. So vampires are pretty capable of hitting trees because they are 4 strength. So we'll see how he protects this tree. But yeah, not the bloodiest of starts to this game, for sure. With all the armor 7 flying about. Wrestle will have to be used here to take down this thrall that's next to the tree. I guess that's almost good for him because now he's not standing right next to tackle Mighty Blow. Tackle coming into effect here onto one of the catchers. Will force the reroll or have him eat it. Eat it is the choice. Now there's definitely a potential hit here on the ball. We're going to see tackle coming in, taking down this hypno-gazed catcher. There's definitely a chance for some hypno-gazes to open up the path to this ball carrier here. But these bodies in the way are kind of doing a very good job at defending the space. Bloodlust failed, won't use the reroll on it, or did use the reroll on it? Looks like he did. He did use the reroll, but double failed the Bloodlust. So we'll have to bite this thrall that's in front of him. Just a stun, however. Stuns both ways, so that vampire's kind of done his job. He's gonna try and lock down all these players onto the tackle. Are we gonna try and find a hit onto this tree? That's a good question. Ooh, another Bloodlust fail. It's 3 in a row. Gonna come in here onto these players. Hypno gaze this lineman. Yeah, so that he can stand these thralls up as assists to this vampire hit on the tree. Very good use of positioning there. We'll find the first knockout of the match though, taking out one of his own thralls with a vampire. And the tree just gonna be standing right where he is, not able to find the POW into potentially a foul. Will be fouling this catcher on a +3 with Dirty Player. Very likely to gake him. Just a stun, but no send-off. Randomguy is not working with a bribe, so this Dirty Player, if he gets taken out, gets caught by the ref, he will be gone. Remember, this tournament, you could potentially have rostered inducements. Gonna find a Blitz onto the Blodge stepping vampire. We'll wrestle him down, so it does free up the tackle zones, but does not find the POW. Ball moving over to the right-hand side of the pitch, away from the two vampires that are dangerous. Again, going with the loose screen type of play here. Multiple layers. We'll be able to find a 2-dice hit onto a thrall with the line run. And that potentially opens a hit with the tree onto a vampire. Although I think the tree should be hitting thralls instead. And he does go for a thrall, because they're easier to knock down. Does get off this tackle successfully this time. Looks like he'll be continuing to target these easy to hit with 3-dice catchers with his Mighty Blow tackle. And the fact that they don't have any defense against this player certainly helps with that choice. And definitely no defense to that, as we're gonna see this catcher bite the dust. Keeping the blitzing vampire where he is to can maintain tackle onto this catcher that's right next to him. We're gonna see a bunch of gazes come in. And potentially a dodge off the tree. End of turn. Which finds another removal. So 2 KO'd thralls, 1 by a bite, 1 by a dodge, and 1 dead catcher from the Mighty Blow tackle. Tree is going to continue to tie up some players. As this looks like he's going to try and get a hit onto this vampire with leader. Probably with a block war dancer, but it is worth noting this is a frenzy player. But able to find the POW right away and stun the vampire. He would have been walking into a 2 dice still if he was able to push into this square, so he did properly set up to avoid the frenzy trap. Frenzy Dancer is into scoring range just now, but it is the full, you know, double GFI to make it there. And the tackle Mighty Blow is still kind of a little far away from the ball, so he's going to have to work this guy into the play soon. Running out of time to make all his plays because of the 1-minute nature means that these 2 elves over here are just going to sit on the floor, and that's kind of like a bit of an oversight. As well as with this gaze player here, there actually is a play on the ball. Either that, or he could choose to go with the other tackle vampire and blitz into the front war dancer. Uses a 2 dice to walk this thrall off the tree. Not only that, but he's able to get a good gazing spot here. Unfortunately fails, so he's not going to open up this walk in with this vampire, so he's probably going to have to make the blitz onto the war dancer now. If he had gazed here, he could have dodged in this way or around the back. I think at this point, the tackle Mighty Blow is just going to get more central to be able to respond to these players. You see a failed dodge rerolled with the skill reroll. And we're going to gaze this player. And I guess our Mighty Blow blitz is then going to come on to someone at the back. Ooh, no, we're going to try dodging with the non-dodge vampire to come around and blitz on a GFI. Yeah, blitz on a GFI. The front here, he will get the catcher down. No break with the Mighty Blow. However, he's in a very commanding position covering the front of this cage pretty well. War Dancer's gonna have to retreat back into his own half. This is one of the luxuries of elves. You can make these plays where you just heavy retreat with your carrier. because it's actually not that difficult to get the ball down the pitch in a short amount of time. Unluckily, failing a dodge here, this will be the first of his rerolls having to come out here from tackle. And he snakes it! And this is going to be a very big time because he removes himself. Frenzy Dancer off the pitch. All the rest of his elves based. Very difficult position here for Olivierdulac. As Randomboy gets a bunch of free hits. Moving the non-guard thrall in so that if he did Bloodlust, he would be able to not have to bite the guard. Guard able to walk up into a very good spot. And we're gonna blitz the ball, it looks like here? Yeah, it looks like we're gonna use this vampire to blitz the ball. Now he is fishing for a POW, but he's got tackle on a lot of important players. Has safeties back, so why not try and go for the ball, you know? Thrall is up there, so you don't have to re-roll the Bloodlust if you don't want to. You will have to re-roll this GFI because he will be removed from the pitch if he does not stay standing. Definitely getting very spicy. So, down to one reroll for the vampires. Still plenty of turns to go as well. Able to walk his thrall off of the tree yet again. With a hit onto this catcher. Keeping them based on the tackle. Tree continues to babysit a dodge vampire who can just dodge off on a 1 in 36. I don't know if that's the best use of the tree. Certainly doesn't seem like the matchup where the tree is the important player. One tackle dodge works. Blitz on the dirty player thrall. He's got a bunch of elves here over on this side of the pitch. And the vampires aren't very close to them, so he is able to, like, you know, get into a relatively defensible position over here now. Unfortunately, it's not a scoring position because he's not far enough up the pitch, which means that these vampires can become relevant again for future turns. And this vampire at the back also still well within range of blitzing the ball. But all the dodges this turn are working, so definitely a very good recovery turn for the Wood Elves. I'd like to see these tackle vampires get back to the middle of the field so they can cover whatever the Wood Elves try to do on turn 7. They do have to get a scoring threat into play next turn. Technically, this guy is a scoring threat here, so you probably want to blitz him. And then just set up centrally so that you can cover all of the options. It is worth noting that if you do gaze catchers, they cannot catch the ball until they've moved, which means you'd have to make the pass to the end zone on a scoring threat that is being gazed. One of those neat things about vampires. 3 dice, able to find the knockdown on the one scoring threat. No armor break with the Mighty Blow yet again. centralizes his tackle. Ooh, another bloodlust fail. He's gonna have to, yeah, just stand back here with this thrall that he's already bitten. Bloodlusts have been not kind to Random Boy this half. Now, they have only resulted in 1 KO on a thrall, so in terms of, like, deleting his own team, they haven't been doing much. But in terms of making it very difficult, ooh, that GFI fail is gonna really suck. And he cannot reroll it. He needs to save his reroll for a later turn. As he's gonna really try and pin these elves from being able to move up the flank. But with that failed GFI, much better spot here for the Wood Elves coming up through the middle. Blitz onto the guard thrall, just gonna keep him on the tree with just a push. Not sure where the ball is intending to go this turn, though. It doesn't seem like they can escape from the Tackle Mighty Blow Vampire's position. And there aren't very many scoring threats being placed into play. I believe this lineman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just in range here, technically. So right now, that's the only scoring threat. Hands off to a catcher. War Dancer is not a scoring threat. This catcher is not a scoring threat. Actually, wait, this catcher can reach, because he has sprint. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, technically this catcher is still a scoring threat. That guy's going to be a scoring threat completely on the other side of the pitch. And we're going to throw it to him. Is he out of range? He is out of range of being blitzed. So this vampire standing a little too far to the left, and Olivier finding the weak spot in Random Boy's setup. As he's now pretty much guaranteed a score. Although the vampire will park himself onto the ball after a blitz, I believe. Very good maneuvering from the Wood Elves. Ooh, this vampire also just 1 square away from really being able to help this thrall out. A gaze onto Ethelbane here, the dodge lineman, would have been perfect for being able to get a thrall up here to assist the vampire play. So it looks like the only play he has available to him is blitzing down this catcher and then tackling up this catcher on the side. Trying to base as many of these elves with tackle as possible. Probably get this guy over here to stop the wrestle from going over. We are going to do that GFI in order to gaze. Gaze fails. Thrall is not free to come and tag the other lineman. Bloodluff on the important blitz. Ooh. Not blitzing. Oh, can he surf? No, that guy's still too far. I think his play was to make the surf attempt here, so he's gonna try this again. With some gazing. You can get another gaze in here. With some dodging. GFI fail. Gonna have to re-roll that. If he gets this gaze to work, he does. He's now gonna go for it. The surf. Last seconds of the game. Gets the surf off. Dodge. GFI. Push, and it's surfed. And that is our spicy play of the day. Very, very good use of his players in order to get this surf. But where will the ball land? Because there are still some elves that can score if this is a kind throw-in, and there's not much time. In the end zone. And that is still scoreable. Relatively easily. Gonna have to try and dodge a thrall back there to cover it, but not able to get there. So what are we looking at, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 GFI and the tackle dodge, or 3 GFIs. Looks like the 1 GFI play is the better one. Potentially you can free this guy. Fails the tackle dodge. Has a reroll still. Will not have a reroll for the pickup or the GFI required. Fails the pickup, and we see the Wood Elves fail to score on their own drive. With a crazy surf play from the Vampires. Now, are the Vampires, do they have anyone that can score? No, this Thrall, 1 square shy of the end zone, so they cannot try a miracle play of their own. Therefore, they will just try to hit some elves and cause some damage here. Continuing to target the fast catchers with his mighty blow. I think that is the correct choice. Ooh, does this Bloodlust fail change his choice of target? He might go after this lineman instead of the catcher if he wants to save the guard for a future half. Nope. Gonna risk the guard. Gets the block. Mighty blow, only able to find a stun. And now the question. What happens to Thrall? Nothing happens to Thrall because he chooses to let his vampire go off the field instead of eating the guard Thrall. So that will mean he won't get to take these blocks, but he does not have to risk losing the guard Thrall for a future turn. Very smart vampire play there. Note that the rules state that the vampire does not eat anyone if he is not standing next to them. Big KO roll here for the Wood Elves. They both get up, and they have chances to get back into this game. Down 3 players would have been very tough, but just down the 1 seems a lot more doable. Let's go switch behind the Vampires for their offensive drive. 0-0 score still. Classic side defense by the Wood Elves. Heavily slanting towards one side of the pitch with columns. Ball incredibly deep, but the Vampires got a free reroll out of the kickoff event, so I think they're going to be pretty happy with the result there, even if the ball is on their own end zone. They are incredibly hungry today. He's going to stay put so that he can bite Thrall behind him. Very hungry, but not taking much blood from the thralls, which is a good thing. Gonna push the lineman to the side, get probably one more hit on him, and then try and hit down this tree with a vampire. Does find a POW on the second attempt at this dodge lineman. And a stun. There's all the necessary assists. Double skull on the tree. Knocks him down at the second try. Will he foul the tree with the dirty player? That's a question. We are going to see a blitz onto the catcher. 3 dice. Into potentially fouling this tree with dirty player. For quite a large foul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Potentially 6 players assisting this. Mighty Blow gonna remove a catcher. Apo used to keep it on the field for this important drive. Not gonna add the extra assist onto the tree foul, but potentially could still be fouling. Bloodlust thankfully works at the back. And here we go. Big foul. We do see a stun come out of it onto this tree. Which I guess is enough to keep that tree on the floor. Now you might say that fouling trees isn't the best idea because, you know, they have a hard time getting up anyways. Maybe just leaving them on the floor is a good thing. And their armor is so high. But with 5 assists and dirty player, it makes it a little more enticing. And the fact that this is a jump up tree, so it doesn't actually have to roll dice in order to stand up. Elves are choosing to go full pressure here, sending all of their players into the vampire's backfield, taking advantage of the fact that their line is all on the line of scrimmage, and there are just movement 6. Maybe a bit too heavy of a commitment by the vampires to all be up here on the line of scrimmage when the ball is in your own end zone. The one danger is that one of these war dancers is kind of like exposed here to a Mighty Blow blitz. Probably going to see this blitz onto the thrall. That's an easy target. Going to take the both down so he doesn't have to follow up with Frenzy onto the dirty player and force a dodge. And then probably park himself to complete this big ol' screen and put a lot of pressure on Randomguy to make something happen. This is not a great position to be in if you're the vampires. I would be incredibly scared of what these elves can do to you because you're just not getting back there to protect it. We'll see what Randomguy chooses to do. Maybe he can make a cage like here. But it's super hard. Going for the lineman. Tackle Mighty Blow. Finds a stun. There's gonna be some GFIs required, though. So we better not waste his reroll. And we're gonna cage right here. Maybe gazing the War Dancer in order to open up a path for the thralls. Yes, because that thrall couldn't go as far as he wanted to with that guy there. But might hand off to the Blodge. Okay. Bloodless Fail cannot do it. Will get over here, gaze, and place tackle onto the War Dancer with strip. Bite the thrall that's already on the floor. Remains getting just stuns. Now we have... He does have a thrall he can bite. This is not a problem. He can't use his reroll yet because... that is scary. GFI, GFI handoff, or GFI pass catch? We're gonna pass. So he's gonna bite before passing. This is one of the rules. You have to bite before attempting the pass. KOs a thrall. Makes the pass, catches the ball, and the ball is relatively safe. Very interesting turns here. We are going to see the vampires use their apothecary to stun the thrall and keep numbers on the pitch. So both of the players opting to go for KO appos in the second half because there weren't any badly hurts in the first half. It's usually a good use of an apo. Looks to me like we might be going for a leap strip ball play. Certainly an option. We're going to try hitting down the Mighty Blow tackle with the Frenzy. We'll be walking into a Frenzy trap if he does not get the knockdown on the first try. However, he does find the knockdown. Does not break the armor, though. Just gonna be blitzing this thrall at the front. Finds a POW. And another stun. Dodge with the strip ball is good. We'll use this to base up the guard, potentially. No, I'm just gonna double base on the dirty player. So where is Random Boy gonna go? Probably try to go around, maybe blitz one of the front players. But he's got a lot of stunned thralls this turn. Might try to just stay where he is. Not finding a POW onto the War Dancer. Not a big deal. Will blitz him with Mighty Blow Tackle. Finds a knockdown with the stumbles. Tackle is a very good skill here. Mighty Blow gonna do something? KOs the War Dancer. Probably wishing he had saved the Apo for the War Dancer instead of the Catcher. But with the strip ball out of the picture, now he's going to need to get exactly a POW or a both down with wrestle in order to take this vampire down. And get the ball onto the floor. Random Boy's vampires choosing to behave a little more in this turn. Gaze failure, but that's more of a gaze because I'm there rather than a gaze because I want to make a play. Worth noting that these time restrictions are quite a thing. 1-minute turns do not leave you much time to think about your plays. Gotta be on the ball. Now, I would say that this is not a cage if the strip ball was still here. However, with the strip ball missing, it's going to be very difficult to get anything good on this vampire. As we see, not even going to go for the vampire holding the ball. Dodge is out. Has to use his dodge reroll. It's going to screen in front of the cage now. And now he's just going to dare the vampires to move all the way up the pitch in 5 turns. Tree is rooted, so essentially that's another removal. Down 3 players on the pitch. Now it's possible to still use the tree as parts of screens, but he ain't moving, so you're going to have to work around him rather than being able to use him as a player. Mighty Blow tackle can still make it up to hit this thrower, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him trying to bust through the right-hand side of the formation here. You see Thrall's getting into place to make that a thing. Ball carrier doesn't want to eat one of the cage corners, which is always nice. Is one of the downsides of vampires. Ooh, looks like we're just gonna be blitzing this catcher. Again, opting for 3 dice Mighty Blow hits rather than 2 dices. Getting rid of the fast players, potentially. And that is a Kaz. We will see yet another elf leave the pitch. Down to just 2 catchers, 1 war dancer in terms of fast players. We're going to see some gazes coming in because they can. A Thrall that dodges away from the tree. Tree is now completely isolated. Some more Thrall dodges. And not even going to bother activating the tackle vamp, who doesn't need to. Still, 4 turns to get up the pitch, not the hardest. We'll have to push relatively quickly, though, on these next couple turns. Reminder that you guys can check out the standings and the teams by using !Blitz in the chat. And that Thrall that just got himself away from the tree looks to be the blitz target for the turn from the Wood Elves. Unless he's gonna be blitzing this vampire here. Whew. Which would be a bit of a frenzy trap. But keeps on getting these POWs on the first try. Does still have to walk himself off tackle, which he manages to succeed at. And now the vampires can just go back the other way relatively easily, leaving behind 1 Thrall. It's not the worst number of players to leave behind. Even gets to potentially blitz this catcher or this lineman with the wrestle. Both of them are good targets. Probably the wrestle, because it lets you get a little further up the pitch. We are going to go for the wrestle. Gets the stumbles with tackle. And a stun. It's going to be very important for this turn. Three dice onto the catcher that based up. Finds a pal. Gonna keep it on the tackle, I think. So he's gonna want to shove. No, just gonna move him off the tackle to the side. I might have wanted to keep him on the tackle so he couldn't just dodge and become a screen, but put him in like the middle of two players, a little harder to get out. But it depends where the rest of his cage corners are attempting to go to, I think. Vampire with the ball does not bloodlust. Guy makes an assist so he can get an extra hit with a thrall. Doesn't find a POW. Final Vamp bloodlusts. 4 rerolls, so he can use a reroll on it. Gets him up the pitch. Even GFIs, wow. I find it's going to be pretty tough for the Wood Elves to get out of this pickle. They've got a lot of their players kind of out of position. The Vampires still have 3 more turns to get this guy all the way up the pitch with 6 movement. Should be relatively doable. And there's a GFI fail out of the Wood Elves. I'm going to be trying to hit this Thrall with the Frenzy, it seems. Does find a stun, but can't really get too far in front of this whole thing. Tree is in a very nice position for completing the screen though, so he is using his rooted tree pretty well here. Three dies onto this catcher are available with the thralls, and then potentially busting through the catcher and making a sideline cage or something if he wants to push pretty far this turn. Gonna be hard to swing all the way around the tree and still make it in 3 turns, so I think he has to hard push on this corner. Finds a knockout onto the catcher. That's gonna be a big one. No more movement left, but I think he's okay where he is. Ball can slot in onto the sideline. He's got sidestep, so it's not too big of a danger. The only danger to this play is going to be how many thralls can he get up there with him. And he's just going to go base heavy on a lot of these elves here. dodge past the tree, get into a relatively relevant position. Even gonna waltz his way on in and hypno-gaze potentially this thrower. Random Boy in a commanding position, looking to take the 1-0 lead relatively soon. Now it's still possible for Wood Elves to tie the game up on a one-turn attempt, but note they are down to just one catcher if these guys don't get back up. One catcher, one War Dancer in terms of fast players. And while they have Frenzy to somewhat make the one-turning slightly easier, they do not have Grab on the tree. This is a jump-up tree. Double uphill on the DP. Oh wow, spicy plays. Don't know if he realized that was uphill. We'll get a 2-dice hit onto the guard, however. As he makes his all-in play to just put some pressure on this ball carrier. A chain push out. And then if he gets a knockdown here, he's got it. He's freed up. Ooh, why push? Is he gonna... I don't think he can surf from there. Because he already stood the Thrall up. So now he'd need to fill in this square to surf. I guess that's possible still. Yeah, it's still technically possible to surf that vampire. That, War Dancer, which I think is his plan here. Gets a push. Can he go in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, GFI. Just a GFI to get the surf potential. Looks like he's going for it. GFI is successful. Blitz surf the War Dancer with the ball carrier. Off the pitch. No damage. Gonna move one closer so that he doesn't have to GFI on the last turn of the game. Kinda forgot about his Thrall at the back, but I don't think he really needs him. One thing I'm scared about is this wrestle player has a Blitz on the ball, which is a little sloppy to give up. Though I don't think you can get someone onto this corner to make it a... I mean, technically you can 3, 3, 2, 2 to make it a 1-dice with the wrestle. Tries to go for making it a 1-dice, however, he is getting off tackle here. We'll have to use his reroll. Gets around. Can he make the Blitz? This would be very spicy if he's able to POW. Now note that the vampires are able to make sure the ball stays in bounds because of sidestep. Doesn't need to. Gets a skull result. And now all the vampires need to do is hit this one guy and waltz into the end zone. They even have a Thrall. Not completely in range. but they do have thralls able to get up there in support. We are going to see a knockdown on the thrower. Now we just need to see a successful Bloodlust and or a GFI with a thrall up there in order for the Vamps to score. Looks like they're going to take this Mighty Blow hit with the 3 dice. Bloodlust is fine. Trying to just reduce the number of L's potential for a 1-turn. Just a stun. Does not roll the Bloodlust on the score and puts it in 1-0 to Random Boy. Random guy, whatever you want to call him. And now the Wood Elves are going to have to see if they can 1-turn this. Now we're going to see an anti-1-turn attempt for the Wood Elves, or the Vampires, as they try to stop this 1-turn here. Difficult in 1-minute turns for sure. But setting up and executing a 1-turn in 4-minute turns also going to be very difficult. So he's going to be taking this vampire into this square. Is this good? Gets a riot. That's spicy. Doesn't have to 1-turn anymore. Just to push onto the Dirty Player Thrall, 1 scoring threat in range so far. This War Dancer also going to head down as be a scoring threat probably. The good thing with vampires is you are able to gaze scoring threats to somewhat reduce their chances of scoring. It doesn't completely stop them from scoring because they can walk to the end zone. You can definitely make it harder. Ball is still in range of being blitzed, even with 1 GFI, so he's going to have to make both GFIs. Yep, he is out of range now. Tree takes root again. And double skulls. Okay, so Tackle can make his way all the way back to the throw, but not able to hit him. So we'll probably see an attempt to hit this War Dancer down, and then try and gum up these players. Probably a Blitz onto this strip ball War Dancer with the tackle Mighty Blow. Or a Gaze here and then a Blitz onto the catcher again. That also is a thing. Might even Gaze the catcher and then Blitz the lineman off the edge of the pitch. No, we're still gonna Blitz the War Dancer even though we Gazed him. KOing him. GFI to get in there onto the catcher. Another GFI. Lots of players on these Wood Elves. It's going to be very difficult for them to score any of those players now. Gonna Gaze onto the catcher now. And then hit. Gets a double pow on the War Dancer just for good measure. And then hit here? No, dodge and then a Gaze, potentially. Making an absolute mess to get through. And we're going to see a dodge fail for the War Dancer to try and free some stuff up. And that's going to be game. Random Boy is going to get out of this with a 1-0 victory. Over Olivierdulac's Wood Elves.